Hello everybody, it's Jet here, and after the massive success of the first movie, they pretty much went to work immediately on the second movie, and that sequel is what we're here to talk about today. So let's talk about it, shall we? Released in March of 2002, the movie starts with Eggman on the Mushroom Planet, living on the Mushroom Planet and managing to keep himself alive, before planning his return to Earth and trying to find his way back, when eventually, after causing a massive energy burst, three mysterious figures arrive through a ring portal. However, Eggman manages to spring various traps that he set up, taking them out. However, before he can go through the ring portal in hopes of leaving the Mushroom Planet, Knuckles steps through, and when he notices that Eggman has a blue quill, Eggman tells him that he got it from Earth. Meanwhile, Sonic sneaks out one night to try and stop a robbery in Seattle, and while successful, he ends up destroying an entire city block. That following morning, Sonic goes boating with Tom, who gives him a lecture about his recklessness, understanding that he's trying to do good, but tells him that his time will come and he'll know when that moment is, before he and Maddie go to her sister Rachel's wedding. While Sonic is home alone, Eggman returns with Knuckles, and Knuckles attacks Sonic, but he's saved by a yellow fox named Tails, and though Knuckles chases them down, the two eventually escape from him. Eggman and Knuckles make a deal to get the Master Emerald and its power, eventually reuniting with Agent Stone, who helps Eggman scheme to quote-unquote help Knuckles. Meanwhile, Sonic convinced Tails to help him in his own search for the Master Emerald, following clues on the map that Longclaw gave him, as the world map he had is also a map to the Master Emerald, eventually leading them to a temple in Siberia where they find a compass. However, Eggman and Knuckles track them down, and after they escape the temple, they chase them down a snowy mountain. After cornering Sonic on a cliff, Knuckles reveals that he lost his entire tribe the same day Sonic lost Longclaw. During this brief moment of sympathy, Sonic throws the compass at Tails, but Eggman steals it and shoots Tails, knocking him unconscious. So instead of going after the compass, Sonic goes to help Tails, and this, combined with what Eggman says in response to seeing this, leads Knuckles to question Eggman's loyalty and sense of honor, before Eggman causes an avalanche. The two snowboard away and are saved by Tom using the ring Sonic gave him to open a portal to the wedding destination. Randall reveals that he and his wedding guests are agents of Gun, capture Sonic, and arrest Tom. The two are rescued by Maddie and a pissed off Rachel, who eventually reconciles with Randall after he affirms that his feelings for her are real. And while this is going on, Eggman and Knuckles find a secret underwater temple, and upon seeing this, as well as feeling responsible for Tails being injured, Sonic commits to taking on Eggman alone and runs off to do so, eventually reaching the temple and even managing to catch up to Knuckles and Eggman, reaching the Master Emerald shortly after they did. Knuckles fights Sonic to stop him from getting the Master Emerald, and Eggman uses this distraction to steal the Master Emerald, betraying Knuckles and leaving him with the Emerald, causing the temple to begin crumbling down, and Knuckles begins to drown, but Sonic saves him, but as a result he himself begins to drown before Knuckles saves him. The two talk and reconcile their differences, agreeing to work together, and a recovered Tails comes to rescue them in a biplane. Back in Green Hills, Eggman uses his new power to make a giant robot that looks just like him. Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails come with a plan to take down the robot, as well as the accompanying drones, and get back the Master Emerald, but it breaks, splitting apart into the 7 Chaos Emeralds. Tom and Maddie come to rescue Sonic, who uses the power of the 7 Chaos Emeralds to transform into Super Sonic just before Eggman crushes him with his robot, stopping him from doing so, and uses the power of Super Sonic to destroy the robot, letting Robotnik fall with the robot before he gives up the power of the emeralds and returns to normal. When Tails asks him why, he says he still has some growing up to do, and afterwards Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles decide to form their own new order of heroes to protect the Master Emerald. With the aftermath of everything, Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails are all playing baseball with the Wachowskis and just living a rather peaceful life, and eventually the group go to get ice cream, and with that, the movie ends. Then in a post-credit scene, Stone is revealed to be posing as a gun agent to avoid capture, and overhears Commander Walters learn that they discovered a secret hidden laboratory, and it's revealed that Project Shadow has awakened, and with that, the movie ends for real. Much like the first movie, there isn't a lot to say about the story of the second movie, but overall, I will say I feel like the first movie's story is better, which I think is a result of the movie not having nearly as much going on as the second movie. When I started to rewatch this movie, I thought it had been about an hour, however, it turns out it had only been 30 minutes, because so much happens in such a short time, which is both amazing and horrible for this movie. It's amazing because it makes the movie feel like it flies by, but it's bad because in those slower moments of the movie, it feels like a drag, especially when those slow moments involve the B plot, since it makes you want to jump right back into the A plot of the movie. It makes it feel like nothing's happening. It's a bit annoying, but not a huge deal. Just something to be wary of, but there are a few things story-wise about the second movie that I want to touch on. Firstly, Longclaw's feather being a big thing at the start of the movie, because this just begs the question of where the fuck did it come from? It fell from Sonic's map, but we saw Sonic open his map multiple times in the first movie, and that feather was never there. Did he keep it somewhere else, and then when he started living with Tom and Maddie, he put it with his map? It's not impossible, but then that just begs the next question of how did he get it? A feather from Longclaw never flew through the ring portal. When she spread her wings, he couldn't go through the ring portal to get it closed before he got through. Did he get it before the Echidnas attacked? Who knows? In all reality, it's not a big deal. It's just this detail that stuck into my mind a little bit because it kind of just throws me off, you know? Speaking of Longclaw and the Echidnas though, cool little detail that I want to mention is that the same day Longclaw died, so did all of the Echidnas but Knuckles. And we know they went to fight her, meaning Longclaw took all of them. It took all of them to kill her and her alone. That's some G shit, dog. Mind you, none of them made it back. None of the Echidnas made it back from that fight. She bodied them all. Though she... I'm just like... Anyways, she bodied all of them. She's fucking built like that, bro. Speaking of being built like that, another thing that I love is Tom just being no bullshit this whole movie. Like, anytime he has to, he's ready to box anyone he has to. He punches a government agent twice. Granted, the first time he didn't know. The second time, he did not give a damn. He did not care. Speaking of Tom, though, admittedly, I do feel some of the scenes with the wedding B-plot for the first half of the movie are kind of pointless. Like, I get that their whole purpose is, oh, Tom is right to be worried because when he gets the call from Sonic later in the movie, he has to rescue him from the avalanche, so on and so forth. But being completely honest, they could have cut it down a bit in length. You know, aside from the final one, since that's the one when Tom gets the ring and saves him. Prime example, volleyball scene. The entire part of the scene where it's just them playing volleyball could have been cut, or at least somewhat shortened, since that part serves no major purpose to the rest of the story. It could have just been shortened down to the part of where it's Tom and Randall talking, and then everything that happens after that. Everything that happens after that is fine, right? But that volleyball sequence, while not long, it could have been removed entirely. You didn't need it. You didn't need that part. Everything after that you kind of need, from Tom and Randall talking to everything after that. That's really all you needed. It just is what it is. Speaking of something that is what it is, another thing that I noticed, it almost feels like they were trying way harder and leaning way more into the comedy and the jokes department. There's a lot more gags and more silly moments and jokes and whatnot. And while Jim Carrey and James Marsden again are amazing in their acting as Eggman and Tom, same with Ben as Sonic, I feel more than anything the most noteworthy performances in this specific movie come from Idris Elba as Knuckles and Natasha Rothwell as Rachel. Natasha was involved in some of the funnier moments in the first movie, but in this movie, she had me dying.
All right, great.
And if you screw up my wedding, I will end you. So help me, Thomas! Are you an agent? Son of a... Was the florist an agent? How about the photographer? The woman who waxed my... at the spa? Is JoJo an agent?
Rachel.
What? Randall! Wifey's home!
She sold all of that. Same thing with Idris Elba as Knuckles, especially with this version of Knuckles being much simpler, feeling very much like a fish out of water, which works for this version of the character, being a much more traditional, tribalistic, and simplistic warrior in a more modern and advanced world. In the words of Captain America, a man out of time, if you will. And the way they write that is fun, giving him some of the funniest moments in the movie, but also some of the dopest.
You're never going to get my power.
Do I look like I need your power? Where that came from?
Tiny magic hedgehog destroyed. Now let's begin our quest. How dare you attack me in my hour of sorrow? Power bomb! Ha! Victory is mine!
Hey, no fair! That shouldn't count!
First base is also mine!
I think that was our only ball.
I have conquered the second of the bases!
It's fucking dope. They did great. Speaking of great, another thing about this movie that I like is just how many references there are in the second movie. There's obvious ones such as Agent Stone's Cafe being called Mean Bean, obviously being a reference to Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. The Snowy Mountain snowboarding scene is obviously a reference to Ice Cap for Sonic 3, with a little bit of SA1 feeling mixed in there as well. During the dance battle, Sonic does his iconic pose with the cover of Sonic Adventure. The manual Stone reads looking like a Sega Mega Drive cover. This line from from Robotnik when he says,
Chaos is power!
being a reference to that very same line from Tikal in Sonic Adventure.
Chaos is power.
And so on. But there's some less obvious ones, such as a reference to Sonic 3D Blast's EU logo with Sonic's haircut in the house scene, which I'm convinced of that because it looks very similar. The symbol Sonic rotates inside Temple when they're going through what's it called? Where they're looking for the compass. Though those were actually confirmed by Tyson Hees to be a reference to the Babylonian hieroglyphs in Sonic Riders. The Temple, the Master Emerald in, is a reference to Hydro City and Lost Labyrinth Zone from Sonic 1, and much more. I almost said Lost World from Sonic Adventure 1. No, that's the wrong fucking stage. I could keep going, but this movie is chock full of references, and if I did that, this video would be a drag and it'd go on forever and ever. So we're gonna stop there with that, but I do also want to speak on the music, as the soundtrack for this movie is again amazing, and the song selection once again is a banger, such as Uptown Funk, Walk by Pantera, Don't Know Why by Nora Jones, the Hardicle mix of Here Comes the Hot Stepper by Aini Kamoze specifically, and it's specifically that remix, which is dope, and so on. But there are some song choices in the original score for the movie involving the game, much like the first movie did, such as Tom's ringtone literally just being the theme of Green Hill Zone.
Rings signify that.
Sorry. Thought it was on silent.
Or the drowning theme being incorporated in the scene when Sonic is actively drowning, and the way it's incorporated is geniusly clever. I'm gonna play the moment it shows up against the actual drowning theme. Let's see if you catch it. Did you catch it? If you did, dope. If not, well, it plays right at the start, and the way it's incorporated is perfect, as the song is an orchestral track, so at the start of the song they add the drowning theme to the music of that scene when both Knuckles and Sonic are drowning, with the orchestral music in the beginning of the sound. If you ask me, that is super cool. But that's about all there's to talk about in regards to the movie. It's a well shot out and blocked movie with solid animation, amazing acting, a solid story, great music, and a ton of references to the overarching Sonic franchise. And while overall it is better than the first movie, there are ways in which the first movie is better. And to be honest, from what I've seen, I cannot wait to see the third movie, especially after playing the Shadow Generation Sonic Movie 3 DLC. It's got me super excited to see the third movie, which just released at the time this video is released. I got at least one more video in store for you all this year, maybe two. I'm hoping for two, but at most, I can guarantee you're getting one of them. But with all that being said, I'm gonna get out of here now. I'm gonna go. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you didn't, how much I suck is with the YouTuber and the Vtuber in the comment section down below. Peace out and enjoy yourselves, everybody.